Alright, what is up YouTube? Boom40 here. I spent the last solid day or so talking to Sam Sheener about Sky Striker, and he actually sent in his new list to me. Now, he said he went into locals, started testing new format, and he went undefeated with this. And to all you naysayers out there, well, Robbie, Kagari's limited to 1. The deck is really bad now. Ugh. Come on, guys. We knew that this wasn't going to die. Now you just have to make more bad decision-making tropes and things like that. Now you're going to have to abuse Hercules base to recycle things. And your end-phase Shizukus are going to have to just be all that better. Now we're actually just going to be putting a lot more value into the multi-roll itself for things. So the first thing I want to say here, he did include the 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Off of the initial things that we were talking about this morning, he was on triple, there could only be 1. And he was talking about it was either we cut an Upstart Goblin or we cut the Arrow, it could be 1 for the 1 copy of Monster Reborn. And as you can see, the decision was made to cut there could only be 1. I think a lot of people are going to be really indifferent about this. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this because now, more so than ever, getting use back out of that Kagari is going to be the thing. If that Kagari gets DD crowed, yeah, it's going to be a shit show, honestly. But I get it. It's there. It's powerful. I'm also curious to see how the TCG is going to feel about Desires. We did see a lot of the OCG, as of late, start shifting towards Desires as a resource to draw, and you would just kind of filter through your options a little bit at this point. Also at the beginning phase here, I think a lot of people are in agreement that we're on 1 Eagle booster because we don't kind of know where the format's going. It's kind of just generic amputate and Eagle booster, start things off. I mean, the deck did get off pretty scot-free with 3 Engage and 3 Widow Anchor still being available to you in full options. So, you know, when you're looking at this deck, just understand that, yes, we still do have these, but you did amputate 60% of recursion. So now I'm going to have to establish a multi-roll. If you're actually able to wipe out the multi-roll, you're going to put me in a worse position than I actually was. So yes, also double Shark Cannon is kind of something that we saw coming in from the OCG. I actually really like this. Being able to, if you sit down and play the mirror match, take your opponent's Kagari now, oh my god, the Kagari steal is going to be so much value. It's actually insane right now how good it actually is. Just being able to take that free monster and capitalize off of it. Especially in matchups where your opponent is using the Kagari as a stepping stone. Yeah, it's really something at the moment. So that's something I did want to point out, that we've definitely gone a lot more, I guess, towards this. We'll see if this sticks as a trend. Same thing with Hercules base. But that's for another time. So, main deck here from Sam. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Yeah, you're still going to be packing in the same amount of hand traps you've been packing in all format up before the list change. Like, you still need them. Like, we don't have Mag C to get all this fancy draw power that the OCG does, but that doesn't mean that we don't have things that we can't adjust and take advantage of. Does that make sense? We have triple copies of Effect Veiler, same thing. Right now, Effect Veiler is really crucial in the solid matchup and things like that. We'll see on how Thunder changes in the future. I'm not exactly sure it's going to stick around as a problem deck, but we'll see. For the most part, this is for solid. We have 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This card is really good. I understand why we're going towards this. Then, of course, the triple copies of Sky Striker Ray. No real argument from this. This is staple. Now, 2 Foolish Burial Goods, 1 Metalfoes Fusion. Still need a way to get spells in the graveyard. I mean, the OCG over here has triple Upstart Goblin. We don't get the fucking full luxury of that, so we have to play the next best thing, which, I mean, brick on brick doesn't really matter. Your whole deck's expectant or goal at this point: 3 spells in graveyard, resolve, engage, do your thing. It's just, if your opening is subpar, it's kind of gonna suck. But hey, we think we're going second deck now, so you know we'll take it back. Sky Striker just jumps modes so much. 1 copy of Monster Reborn to revive Kagari, get off your engage. It's still pretty good. Copy of Rhoda to get to Ray. Now, we're playing 2 copies of Shared Ride. This is dependent to change depending on how the format evolves itself. I still think for the most part right now, with all of the searching and things that go on in the current format, this is really fucking good. I do agree with Sam. Maybe consideration of pushing this to 3, but you have to understand that the deck is so tight as it actually is at the moment that you can't. Your leg room is a little bit limited. And I don't necessarily like that. So there's also, we don't know what the argument for the field spell is right now. We're just on the 2/2, just kind of reverting back. Like it's not as good as it was, but I mean, you still get the option to filter for more cards, and that 1 of 3 filter is actually not terrible. Now we are packing the 1 copy of Afterburners, the 1 Jamming Waves. Honestly, there might be some trend where somebody tries double Afterburner. I don't think that that's going to stick. I think it's a really cute concept, don't get me wrong, but I think if we start heading towards that paradigm, it's going to be because we're trying to interact with desires or something like that in the format. You know what I mean? Now, the 1 copy vehicle boosters I explained earlier, I don't think this is going to stay we're not going to go to 2, I don't think. Unless something in the format is so dangerous and so explosive that we actually need it. I understand, like, one thing that Sky Striker always kind of had going for it was its ability to stick a monster on the field. And if something happens to that monster, then, you know, unfortunately, it just... It could fall off, if that makes sense. So, we're also playing the 1 copy of Yield Hornet Drones. I do think that it's still pretty much a staple. Alright, we also got the 2 copies of Shark Cannon. Can't wait for this to be abused. Still love this card to death. We also have the triple copies of Widow Anchor. We dodged the list, and it's so good. Like, had they touched this, I don't know. Especially with Endymion running around at full power. But yeah, the triple Widow Anchor. We still have triple copies of multi-roll. No real change here. Still playing this. I still think like there's going to be a push to go back to 3 field spell because of triple multi-roll, but I guess that's more of a trend thing the later that the format develops, and at least at the beginning stages for Therio here, this is where we are. 1 copy of Hercules base, generic extra battle, draw a card, recycle ability. Like, I don't know what more you want from a card. It did suck for as long as it still sucks, but card is still... It depends on where we're going in the format, once again. Maybe we'll cut this, maybe we won't. We have triple copies of Engage, still the best card in the deck. Search for anything you want, draw a card. It's pot of greed on crack. We have 2 copies of Terraforming, search for Yule Field Spell. No real change there. 1 copy of Upstart Goblin, and then 2 copies of There Can Only Be One. I still really like this. Just being able to floodgate out our opponent now, set up and lock down a board, our opponent can't really do anything, and if we got a field spell up and running, we're just going to be rotating for free advantage, I feel. Like, it's actually really good. Now, in the extra deck, we have 1 Triple Burst Dragon. This is actually really good right now. And it also grants us the ability to special summon. So you can tribute this card and target 1 link 2 or lower monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Then you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster in your hand. We don't care about that. We'll get floatability, and we actually get all of the other fun fancy stuff that comes with jamming out and damage step. And 1 topological Bomber Dragon. Can't wait for Avaram. We have triple copies of Shizuku for searchability, 2 copies of Kaina. Are we really going to try to play 3 Kaina? Because, like, I'm not seeing that. We have 1 copy of Kagari, triple copies of Hayate, direct attacking, still as good as it's ever been. 1 copy of Ningrisu for spot removal. 1 copy of Phoenix. Hey, 1 copy of Ablaze. That's right. As long as Kagari into this, steal an opponent's fire monster, climb on up the old Boral Sword, OTK our opponent. Yeah, it's really good, actually. We have triple copies of Artifact Lancey in the side deck. Thunder is still really annoying. We have triple copies of our boy Prinkatops. Spot removaling anything that is an issue to us is so good still. Triple Twin Twister, it's just in the side now, like... No point even main decking this, I feel. Triple Imperm in the side as well, and triple copies of Summon Limit. Literally all the best cards from last format just kind of made their way into the side deck, because honestly, at this point, it doesn't really matter where they are as long as we have access to them at all stages in the game. So, I think that's the best part about this deck. It's, even with Kagari at 1, the deck's adjustability for what it wants to do now is just, it's adapted so well at this point that it's crazy. So guys, what do you think about Sam's list? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'm actually going to give this a shot myself. I'm curious to see how this works. I can tell you guys on paper this looks really good. All right, guys. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.